Welcome to my presentation on GradeQR. So what is GradeQR? Well, it's a system for entering grades into Moodle quickly. More specifically, it's a Moodle plugin and an Android app that work together to make entering grades quick. To understand the impetus for GradeQR, let's look at what's needed to grade a conventional assignment. First, you need to sign into the system, and then you have to go to the course, and you have to go to the assignment, and then you have to find the student, and then you can enter the grade. Most teachers figure out quickly that gathering assignments and grouping them by course and assignment makes things a little bit quicker because then you don't have to switch between those screens. But with GradeQR, you don't need to sign in, and you don't need to keep track of the course or the assignment in order to get the grade where it needs to go. Instead, if you're grading for completion, you just scan the QR code. All of the information that you need to get the grade into the gradebook is embedded in the QR code. Now, if you want to give students a different grade than the max grade, you can also scan and grade, which takes a few more seconds, but that's not something I typically do. In fact, I rarely do it for reasons that I'll explain shortly. I should be upfront that there are some limitations to GradeQR. And the first one is that it's great for simple assignments. It's perfect for when you're just collecting paperwork, like, I have a signed syllabus that I require of students, and, if you were to have permission slips or something like that. But it's also great for simple projects where there's a small number of requirements that are very simple, and a teacher can grade it in, let's say 30 seconds or so. It's not useful for complex assignments. Think about projects that take more than a couple days to do, and they require a rubric to grade, and there might be many requirements. It's also something that requires access to a computer. It's conceivable that you could use an iPhone or a tablet to pull up the QR code, but you do need something that students can use to get to that QR code. Also, it's an Android app right now. There's no iOS version yet, but it's my ardent hope that an iOS version will be coming out in the next couple months. The benefits of using GradeQR are that obviously it makes grading fast, but also that because grading is so fast, I can give my students immediate feedback. So instead of collecting an assignment, looking at it that evening, giving it a grade, putting some feedback on it, and then giving it back to the student the next day, I just look at it during class, and if the student didn't meet all of the requirements or needs to do something extra, I tell them before I scan the QR code. So I don't typically get low quality work. Students have to give me their best before I scan the QR code. It also allows me to differentiate. In my class, it's pretty rare that students are working on the same assignment at a given time. Most students are in different places. If I were to grade using a conventional system, just switching screens to get to every assignment for all of the different students working in the different places they're at would be very time consuming, but with GradeQR, it takes no extra time. So to install GradeQR, there are 3 web pages that you're going to need to know about. The first one is the Moodle plugins database. Once you get to the Moodle plugins database, just search for GradeQR. It's the only thing that's going to show up because it's the only thing like it in the database. Once you click on it, you'll have the option to click Install Now if you're a Moodle administrator and you're running Moodle 3.5 or 3.6. Clicking on this will allow that process to be pretty seamless. I'm guessing it works fine on previous versions of Moodle, and you could just download it and install it if you wanted to do it that way as well. This is where you'll find instructions for creating the token that is needed for the app to communicate with the Moodle server. Just follow these instructions right here, and when you're done, you'll have that token. And finally, you're going to need to go to my web page and download the app. So right here you can see the version 4 of the app, and if you just click right here, you can download it.
Mr. Backus, can you please scan my QR code?
Yeah, let's take a look at your project first real quick. And it looks like you've met all the requirements here. Nice job. Show me your QR code. All right.
Thank you.
A couple years ago, I developed a similar system using Google Spreadsheets and almost the same app, but it reached a limit beyond which I couldn't take it any further. And so by implementing this inside of Moodle, we can realize the full potential of scanning QR codes to get grades into a learning management system, because we can leverage all of the other features that Moodle has, the other activities it has. So for example, when I look at the Scratch section of my course, you can see that I don't use this activity in isolation. I actually use it in conjunction with this other activity, the checklist activity, and I also use the completion tracking that Moodle has. So right now you can see that it's sort of grayed out. I can't actually click on it, and that's because I set it up so that the activity racing game requirements is necessary before students have access to the QR code. And this is pretty much to try to limit students from just clicking on it and telling me they're ready without even looking at the requirements for the assignment. So if I click on the checklist, then the students can say, okay, yeah, I met these requirements, these core requirements, and let's see, I also did these 3 add-ons here. And once they do that, when they go back to the assignment here, now they can actually access that QR code. And notice there's no check here. Once I scan that QR code though, when I go back to the activity page here, I can see that now I've completed that assignment. Future plans for GradeQR include fixing a few bugs that I'm already aware about. Generally, there are things that allow guest users to have access to this plugin. And then adding a few features just to make it a little bit more streamlined. But the biggest thing, the biggest change I want to make is I actually want to make a new plugin that embeds this concept inside the assignment activity plugin within Moodle, so that you can actually choose between QR codes or having students upload an assignment, or maybe both.